Yo. What up, world?
Yo.
What up? How does that sound? Sound good? 2 seconds. Once we get this rock and rolling. Are we everywhere?
Yes, sir.
I forgot about that.
Weird. Take this one.
The deadlift on the bench. Completely forgot about that. It's an old school. I guarantee people say that's not a good thing.
What?
Watch this. You ever seen that? It's a great little exercise. It's surprisingly a shocker.
It's like the good morning. It's kind of like the good morning on the bench. I can see people not being too happy about that one.
Exercise. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. You guys ever done that? The deadlifts on a bench. So you're basically sitting down. Just assume that your lower body doesn't work. And I think that's some of the people that I've seen.
Right.
Some great trainers work with people that are work with partial paralyzed people, and they would do this where the person would be sitting and the legs irrelevant. They could be wrapped down to hold them, and then just kind of deadlift the bar off maybe a couple inches. I don't know. It's not that far up. But yeah, I did that a lot as a youngster. And I missed that. I think we're going to definitely do that this coming week. It's a good one.
Yeah, I got 5 on it.
Oh, see, the one I'm watching right now is actually a girl that is paralyzed.
Oh, yeah.
What I love is she did a 300 deadlift. So badass. All right, I'm saving that, guys. That's cool. How we all doing? Wow, we got the questions going and rocking and rolling. I love it. Let me see if I can start off with this bad boy right there. Again, you got a good chance of me putting your post up there just because of eyesight. Go for it.
What'd you put up? Advice for what to eat for a 15-year-old male, 5'7.5", 130 pounds, trying to get to 6'3", 230 pounds, and wanting to start bodybuilding.
All right, great. We can definitely get the weight, in time to that point. But again, the height is going to be off of if you're sleeping well, you're eating well, and then the family genetics on if you're a big one like that. Are you a late bloomer? Do you find that you might be a late bloomer being 5'7" at 15 because you're going through puberty at this stage? But food-wise, yeah, just make sure that you're taking in a good amount of protein for your body weight. So you're 130. I'd love you to be around 150 right now. And also remember that you're young, so your body's going to be burning really well. Okay. Fats right around 90. And then carbohydrates, you're going to have to find out within yourself where those are going to be. Because I don't know how much you're doing right now, but we're going to want to take it up slowly to get that size. And that's where most of your calories are going to come from, is those carbs. But great job at 15 to be focused and have goals like this. I love that.
Yeah, 15 is young.
Yeah, 15. Yeah. You're young years-wise, but your mentality is much older because you're already goal setting at 15. And that's when you should goal set. I mean, you guys really should. And that makes me think that I need to get tight and going on those affirmations and the goal boards and start putting those up. That's what I'm going to do. It's a great concept to do. So thanks for checking in. What's his name? Morgan?
Mogi.
It's a great name. Mogi. Yeah. Welcome to this, brother.
What's Mo cooking up?
She'll get some good food Titan's eating like a savage. He's got a couple of hamburgers going down now a day. And we got him hamburgers. When we say, what do you want to eat? And he goes, I want to get strong. And he'll flex his arm and say, I want a hamburger. It's freaking great. Great to see that. Go for it. What do we got?
Just reading some funny stuff.
They got some good stuff? Put up some funny stuff. I like funny stuff. Don't keep me out of it.
Wish I found Mike before because I wasted time with other YouTubers like that bald doctor and Nipper. Luckily, I'm still young to start doing real work in the gym.
Welcome here. Hey, I'll do this later. I found this amazing Orson Welles. Most of you probably don't even know who that is. Orson Welles is one of the greatest directors in history. But what I loved about him is he talked about the ignorant bliss. Only an expert knows everything and then questions what to do and scared to fail. And when you know everything, you're so rigid. And when you're ignorant, in a good way, it's called ignorant bliss. You're willing to go, I can do this. The 15-year-old kid before here, he said he wants to be 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know what his genetics is. And I don't know if he's going to be one of these kids that both parents are 5'5" and he's 7 foot. Could happen, does happen. So I'm not going to be the guy that shuts that down. If there's an ignorant bliss there and he's like, man, I can get to 6'3", good. Believe in that. Do that. Eat like you're doing and train and keep those goals. I think that's a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing to have. But the reason I said Orson Welles is because he talks about when he was doing these movies, these iconic movies, and they go, how did you come up with these concepts? And how did you know to film this and do this? And he goes, ignorance. I didn't know. I didn't know what was feasible with the camera and the acting and everything. And this, so it was just a cool to see somebody before the echo of the internet and your experts saying what's feasible and what's not feasible. So I got to put something up about that. I think that was a blessing that I had when I was a kid. Almost 6'4". Parents are normal, 5'10". Thank you. Wow, that's great feedback. That's really great feedback. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Did you see the Superman trailer?
I haven't. I'm holding out. I'm waiting.
I didn't even know that.
You didn't know it? Oh yeah, they did it. They're pushing. They're doing great. I did.
Here it is. What are you holding out for?
I'm excited about it, but I want to wait. I want to wait until more stuff is out instead of just seeing the one thing. But I did talk to Frank Grillo, who's in the Superman, and he talks about this kid, and he says some great things because Frank's an alpha, a complete beast, and he says this kid has it. He has it. He has this quality, this Christopher Reeves kind of purity and stuff like that. And so I'm like, that's great.
Is he jacked?
Don't know if he's jacked. Don't know, but they don't need to be too jacked. But I wouldn't mind,
but you
a
wouldn't
good physique.
mind.
I wouldn't mind it,
Exactly.
A strong male would be good for that. Mostly coming off of this last Superman, had a great physique and a good sized guy.
Really good. Mike,
yes.
The longevity secret. Please answer.
Oh yeah. I do this. Jump on over in the Titan crew, and I'll put up the secret later today.
Are you gonna put it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the secret.
It's time.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Holy shit! All right.
Just texting John.
Has Mike ever had a bad workout and later returned the same day to complete it again, but better?
No. And yes, I've had bad workouts, and no, I didn't go back. For me, it's like, okay, I already tanked it. I don't need to tank it twice in one day. It's not like I'm not gonna give an effort, go away, and suddenly come back and give a better effort when I've already pre-fatigued it. So I'm pretty good about saving workouts. I think that's something I learned in time, how to save a workout. And what I mean by that, like you go in, let's say hypothetically, you go in and you're like, today I'm going to be strong as an ox. And then you go in and the weights are heavy on you. And you're like, wait a minute, the diet's on point. Everything's good, stress-free. I came in pumped up to set a PR, nowhere close to that. And then I could flip it in that and go, all right, it's not today for that. So what can I do to set a PR in a different way? Can I change the range of motion? Can I pick a different exercise? Could I do a partial? Can I do a pin press? Can I don't know, anything to switch it and go, okay, this isn't going to be today. Can I go somewhere else? And it's also the other way. I feel bad. I go into the gym feeling weak, fatigued, diet's got me down, I don't know, work, whatever. And suddenly everything is light. And then I switch again because I can take advantage of it. So.
Did Mike's strength peak when he was a teenager? This is a question I haven't seen anyone ask him. I saw video footage of him deadlifting 700 as a teenager at a state champ meet.
Did it peak? I think the amount of weight, it got to a level. And what's cool is that I've been able to maintain that strength and change the form and speed of it. So like the 7, that was a belt, right? In a meet, psyched up, super suit on. And then in time, I could do that without the super suit. I could do that without the belt. But the weight was still in that range of motion, was in that range. And then I could do it for a couple reps and didn't try to go further over. So I was never chasing an 800. So so I've been able to fine tune the lifts as a teenager at that crazy weights at this stage of the game, which I think is, for me, one of the most proud things for me, because most people are I benched 405 once in my life. You got this up and then this decline, where I've been able to go up and then just flatline it all the way through my life, which is really fun, guys. It really is fun.
How else do you go about building the connective tissue besides drinking a lot of bone or chicken broth?
Connective tissue is by weight. The weights that we're using, consistently heavy, great range of motion with it. And then nutrition is a huge point. Good job on that. And then low mileage.
There you go. I was going to ask, could you touch on the things that people do a lot to damage it?
Yeah. Jeff was just saying, there's some good points that I gave on how to build it. Here's the problem on how to damage it. Poor nutrition, overtraining tremendously, 24/7. The guy that goes, I go to fatigue everywhere all the time. Okay, great. The guy that's doing heavy weight with absolutely a complete motion, instead of the body flexing through the motion, they're just springs. And then just continue the reps. The guys that go, you got to stay in this rep range, this high ass rep range. And it's like, okay, that's It's great, but that's a lot of mileage through the years. You got to be smarter than that. That's what I have really noticed because I'm not the only guy that lifts heavy. But the way I lift it, and I keep going back to that and saying it's not that you do it, it's how you do it. Do it smart. Move through it smart. Don't chase numbers. Like, I imagine if you guys all deadlifted 700 as a teenager like I did, you'd probably like, okay, in my 20s, I'm going to hit 8 and then I'm going to hit 900. And it's like, it turned me on that I could do 7 and then I can retain that for 40 years. That for me was what it was, because it wasn't just about the bodybuilding. It wasn't about just the powerlifting. It was about being athletic and just being able to train for a lifetime. And so am I making a statement that if you go to 800 and 900, if you want to chase numbers, I think that's great. But for me, it just seemed though that I wanted to be 70% of everything. I didn't want to be 100% bodybuilder. I wanted to be 70% bodybuilder, great physique. I wanted to be 70% power lifter. I didn't need to be 100%. I wanted to be a 70% athlete. And I wanted to have this nice B plus and be able to stay like that throughout life instead of just an A plus in one thing. Wow, I appreciate this, guys. This is great for the whole team here.
Serge, take note.
Yeah, Serge is leading that whole thing up. Him and Louise and Joel. So
see that?
I will give them their props. Thank you, my friends. And we're going to keep those going too.
What does that mean? Connect feet with other tense areas in power building. I'm not sure what that means.
Are you saying use the energy from the ground up?
That's the only thing I could.
Because if he's saying that, then yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's where it comes from, right? Feet all the way through. I think the kid put down his heights.
Good point. Was that him saying something about his parents?
Click on it.
I don't know if that's the same. Wait.
Oh, here he is. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, guys. I was having technical difficulties over here. And okay. Freezing. My internet was giving me a problem, so I had to reset my router. I apologize.
It's all right, man. What's a router?
A router, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, all this technology, I'm like, geez, when it works, it works. And when it does, it doesn't. So
that's why I stayed with the dial-up. You don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. I definitely remember dial-up. I had some chalk on my face. I apologize. Definitely remember dial-up for sure. I remember when AOL first came out, man, and all that. That was crazy. That was the only email I had back in the day.
Oh, the old school. We got a question here.
Sure.
And I was just look for his second one, if that's him on the height.
We're talking about the 5'5" guy?
5'7", right? Yeah.
130.
Yeah. I just thought it was a cool thing. This kid's 15. He's focused on he would like to, get to a good height.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just his first one. And obviously you can go two ways. You can go, well, it's genetics, what are your parents? Maybe you can't get to 6'3". And I think opposite. I've seen too many monsters in my time. And I've seen too many monsters come from two average parents. So I like the fact that he's 15. He's goal setting. He's already thinking about food and everything to go into play, how to train. So I love this. And then see if there was a second one from him. Now again, 15 is obviously
You're talking about where somebody mentioned parents.
Yeah.
This is different.
Different guy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that being said, I was just talking about, I like that kids will do affirmations and start goal setting and write those things down. Are you going to have Peter do anything like that? Or did you do that as a kid? You came to a military school. So
Yeah. Military school, I didn't really write down my goals, to be honest with you. I started writing down afterwards, I think. Like in college is when I really started writing down goals. I think I was just so dead focused and I was moving so much during high school that I don't know. I really didn't think about it. I knew what I was going to do and I went to accomplish that goal. So that's what it was, I guess. I didn't like really set those long lasting goals. I had some ideas about what I was going to want to go to college, what I want to do in life and all that, but that totally turned out different. It was 180 pretty much. And I wanted to be a lawyer that went to Notre Dame, drove a Porsche. That's not what happened in life. But it worked out better for me, in all way aspects. So, I mean, sometimes life throws you curveballs and you do what you can with that curveball. And at that point, things work out very, very, very good, or sometimes they don't work out so good and you strike out. But you got to get up to go back up to that plate too. And that's the next thing, because even when we talk about baseball, right, the success rate to hit, if you hit 3 out of 10 pitches, you're doing really good at 300. You're batting 300. Right?
gosh, I never even thought about that.
So how many misses?
Crazy.
Right?
Because I hear that like a 3. Well, he's batting 300. That's huge. And it's only 3 of 10. It's like
3 of 10. I mean, it's really nothing. So, it's really getting back up there and having the confidence in yourself and then keeping your eye on the ball. That's the biggest thing. People take their head out of there, they swing over it because they're taking their eye off the ball. Whether they think they've already got it, it's going to be too easy for them, or they're not prepared for that pitch. So that's what I tell people. I'm like, listen, you write down your goals, but be prepared to adapt to something new.
throwing an audible.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens. Life happens and life isn't perfect. If life was perfect, we'd all be trillionaires living on islands, going on rockets to Mars. I mean, this is only for the few. So, I mean, it is what it is. I tell people that all the time, like, be a Boy Scout, be prepared, because you never know when you're going to need that extra, whatever it is, and it's just better that way.
I like that you do that. And we were talking about Orson Welles. I'm a big fan just because of the way he thought back in the day. And he was a huge director back in the day. And he was just talking about when he was asked questions about how did you know to do this? How did you know this much about cameras and all this? And his response was, because I was ignorant. I didn't know. And so his mind was so open to going, I can do all these different things. And he talks about how beautiful that is. And only after you know everything about it. And I see these guys, these Instagram trainers and stuff. And it's like, no, only this works. And they completely shut down to this small window of stuff where it's like, I hope these kids out here just don't take it so. It's an amazing thing, a young mind. It could be shut down to where your future is. I got to get a 9 to 5. I got to do this. And then that's my life. Yep. Compared to the dreamer, the people that they go, oh, you're stupid. That's not going to do it. And the kid's just dreaming about, I'm going to be this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to create rocket ships and go to the moon. I love that concept. For me, I like that. When Johnny comes back, we're going to talk about peptide of the week. We're going to figure out, is Johnny still on point and working out? What do we got here, Jeffrey?
There's a good question here.
All right.
What age do you recommend kids start lifting? My 6-year-old son loves watching your videos and poses and is starting to flex a lot. When did you get tight in the gym?
So Titan is in the gym. If we're training at home, he's always in the gym with us. But he's not really pay attention to the videos I put up of him, because a bamboo bar is maybe 5, maybe 10 pounds.
It's light.
It's really light. And so if you see him squatting or shoulder pressing or curling or anything like that, understand He's a 65-pound 5-year-old. And I got him on 5 pounds. That bar is 5 pounds. So I don't have him on any weights. All I'm trying to do is work form with him. But you said something here I freaking love. And not just for your 6-year-old, for every single person on here. If you can't pose, I don't think you can technically train your whole body. I think there's body parts you can't train if you can't pose your body. And so you're teaching him how to pose, or he's doing it naturally. Smartest thing in the world. We are continuously teaching him how to pose. And I got these knuckleheads. These guys, Serge and Jeff, come over here. They could be working, and the next thing you know, they're over in the mirror posing and checking each other out and stuff. It's like Franco and Arnold. Oh, you girl, boy, let me see those legs. And so they're posing, and Titan sees this, and so he'll run over to the mirror and start trying to pose his legs, bounce his chest, flex his arms. And I'm like, it's a brilliant thing to do. And the reason I say everybody, you got to know how to pose your back before you start training your back, in my opinion, is the best way to do it. And mostly when you're young, because you don't want your 6-year-old, my 5-year-old, I don't want him in there pushing weights. Well, he's still, first of all, not in a good position. And well, he's still developing as much as he is. So take your time. Gymnastics, wrestling. Those are the things to get working out on. Johnny, what's your take on this? You got a little stud.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say little. You got a monster of a kid.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think start them easy, like Mike's saying, for sure. Like, I mean, calisthenics are good for kids. I mean, have them be active, I think, is the main thing, right? That's the main thing. Have them be active, have them some sort of activity where they're running around, and they're developing those different muscles, like, naturally, right? Fun, like, because there's not a lot of kids that want to go to the gym. I've tried. Some kids do, though. Some kids naturally want to go too. So just really depends on what your kid is, So at that point, play into that. You got to play a psychology role. If kids don't like the gym, do activities where they're doing these things, but in some other atmosphere, right, or situation. So, like I said, it's more like a game, and it's fun to them. I think definitely posing. If you can get them posing, for sure, that's a great thing to do. And I think posing is good in general. I mean, I don't know how to pose perfect in every position, but I know how to pose, I think, to a certain degree.
He does. He does. He's playing that up. You know how to pose, dog. I've seen you poolside. You know how to pose and walk.
But I think you're right, though. Like, if if you're in the mirror and you're looking at yourself posing, that you kind of know how your body flexes out, what it looks like. You can put your body in the best positions and angles. And this can do wonders for you, especially if you're doing video or photography. It's all about the angles. And if you're taking pictures of yourself, like, you can move and you can do that in front of a camera. So, that's the other aspect of things. But yeah, I mean, I really do think, like, get them involved, get them active, being the example, doing it too as well. And they're going to take strong to that. They're going to be like, hey, listen, I want to do this. If they keep seeing people around them do it, they'll naturally want to do it too. Like, it just gravitate towards that.
I love that you said calisthenics in the beginning, or a sport.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know, go look at in my opinion, one of the greatest to ever do it is Herschel Walker's. Mm-hmm. And go back and see how this monster, they called him a man-child in college. This guy would run down the sideline and pick up linebackers off him. Herschel Walker's a man. Didn't lift weights. Yeah. Didn't lift weights. Only did handstand push-ups, crunches. He only did body weight stuff, hard body weight stuff, not just push-ups, but like handstand push-ups, pull-ups. And he is tremendous. And something I love about him too is he's still going today. Now, Herschel Walker's. How old is Herschel Walker's pro football player? Oh, God, he's got probably in his 50s now. 62. 62, wow. 62. He still rolls. He competed, and I think he was one of the oldest to ever do his first fight at 48 years old in the octagon. Oh, wow. So this is a guy that was a Hall of Fame college running back, went on to play pros, one of the biggest trades in history from the Cowboys. A monster, but he's still just like true longevity. So yes, weightlifting in my belief is longevity, but also just doing exercises like he's doing to that level is incredible for you. So don't rush your kids. Don't rush your kids. And I agree with both what Johnny said, who again, Johnny was a baseball player and has got a phenomenal son. And also an Olympic scout talking about kids where the goal is don't have them do one sport, have them do all sports.
That's the ticket. That is the ticket. They can do all the sports. That's really it. Because in high school, I played 3. I know you played 3 or 4. So, I mean, that's really where it's at. And you develop so many different muscles in using different sports and conditioning aspects. I mean, it just all goes. Plus, gives you a rest. I mean, baseball players are throwing on their arm all the time. It's good to give it a rest and do another sport and still move and groove and start building that muscle and be, coordinated. But, it's
keyword
good to rest.
And that's the thing. I think people, they so focus on one sport, which I understand. It seems like that would be the thing to do.
Right.
But you got to remember there's skill sports and athletic sports.
Right.
And you should try to combine the two. And this is not from me, guys. I'm not a scout for the next Olympic athlete. I'm not a scout for the NFL. I'm going off of what experts say when it comes to the scouts for the Olympics or pro athletes. They pro football players, scouts look for guys that played college basketball as well as football.
Absolutely.
Because it developed a better athlete.
I mean, we talk about this all the time. How many people can play one sport and then
I'm going to have him check that AOL account.
Yeah, sorry about that. Am I back on?
No, it's okay. You're good now.
So we talk about all the time, like so many professional baseball players or any other sport. So we talked about like Patrick Mahomes. He was a baseball player. Look at him; he's playing football, right? Brady, exact same thing. He actually got. He got.
Is it true he got drafted? He got drafted in baseball first, right?
Yeah. Hung it up and played football.
Love it.
There's so many people out there, and like when you look at even like Aaron Judge, like you're talking about a hell of a basketball player, hell of a football player. I'm talking about, I mean, big time. And at that point, look, he's going to play baseball. I mean, so
wow, that set him up so right because you think about that basketball. I think the average is 4 or 5 years. Football's 2 years on average. Yeah. And he goes and does a skill sport that he could do the next 20 years, mostly being a savage from those sports.
Right.
That's huge.
And he's getting, I mean, the paycheck too. I mean, baseball is one of the best ones to get. So, he was one dumb there. I mean, but like I said, so many people have done that. So I would definitely, my opinion as a father, and Peter plays one sport, which sucks because his coach won't let him play, and he thinks instead he has to do that.
Oh, they're locking him down.
I'm telling you, as a parent, don't ever have your kid get locked down. I mean, that's the wrong thing. So I'm telling you from my experience, that's the one thing that I don't like. That
he'd be ferocious. He'd be ferocious. Basketball?
I know.
Jeez,
dude, he's good in basketball. He plays in the backyard. I mean, he's good. So it's not like he doesn't have skill.
You got that. He's got a basketball court in his backyard, guys. An actual legit like setup, guys.
Lights and everything. I mean, so but I mean, it's good even for him to go back there and just do it by himself, even though he's not on the school team.
Right. I'm
happy that he's at least showing that passion back there because that's not driven by him wanting to be on a team. That's him genuinely wanting to do it. So that's a good aspect. Then get out there and just do that. They don't have to make the school team. If they could just play sports, because there's plenty of different like community leagues you can get your kid into too as well. Like if they're just like having fun doing it, because some kids might not have the skill to play sports when they get older. But at that point, like there's different outlets for them to stay involved in the sport if they want to do that. So,
well, in athletics too, just in my opinion, you being athletic in life helps out.
Oh, for sure.
The way you walk, you strut, posture, health. And that being said, I want to ask Johnny a couple questions. You got some good questions here, guys. I'm going to go with this one, Jeffrey, first. There you go.
All right. So what do you think about the carnivore diet? I love the carnivore diet. I think it's awesome. Do I like some carbs though? Of course I like some carbs. Do I like the carnivore diet in general? Yes, I do. I mean, I eat a lot of meat myself. So if I was to cut all carbs out, I could live on meat, I think myself. So I like it. I mean, I like a good fats, especially if it's like lean cuts of meat. That's one thing, the carnivore diet where it covers like all meats and stuff like that, where you can get a lot of fatty meats too as well. So you're gonna have to watch that. I know fats are the big craze, but at that point, you want to keep your fats in a general aspect, I guess, when you talk about your macros and not going overboard on fats either. They're essential to a degree, but I wouldn't go overboard on that.
Yeah. I love the discipline it does. I love the fact that you're set up with some good protein. So those are some things I like about a bodybuilding diet. It's kind of what a carnivore diet is just a basic bodybuilding kind of diet at the end stage. Yeah, so I think it's great. And it works for a period of time and then reintroduce carbohydrates and switch up.
That's right.
Here you guys go. Here's another one.
It says, yo, Mike, I just competed my bodybuilding show this weekend. Judges says posing's on point. Advice was to tighten up abs and get sharper. What advice can you give me to get sharper and tighter abs? Okay. Well, I mean, Tight Medical Center has some great therapies for you to help you sharpen those abs up and tighten up in a lot of different ways. From our ECAs to AOD, I mean, there's a lot of different things you can utilize. We need to know some more information about how old you are and where you're at there, but there's definitely some different ways to do that for sure.
I think I came in some great condition for this last movie, and it was, I did basically what I've done before. But when I got over to Titan Medical and I was getting ready for this movie, Titan Medical added two things on. So the only thing that changed, that I changed and did different, wasn't the nutrition. That was the same as before. It wasn't the training. That was the same as before. It wasn't me. Actually, technically, I should have got worse because I was getting older. And Titan Medical gave me a crisp, clean fat burner, and the Tessamamorlin and the EAAs, Hercules, and those switches got me in better shape. So it wasn't the diet. It wasn't any changes like that. It was just what Titan Medical helped me to optimize my body. So that's a huge shout out to Titan Medical, and it helped me. Maybe that's something there that could help you guys. It gave me more energy, helped me burn fat on top of that. It helped me recover better, got me better workouts. And then I'm an idiot. And so there's a belief in me that, when I read these things and I see what it can do, it's like, okay, that's going to even work better on me because that's how I think. I don't know. Because I'm so on.
You're a hyper responder.
And it's like, so if I do this and I stay on my diet and I do the training, I could get even better. And so for me, it worked, guys. I give a big shout out and thanks for keeping me in the game.
Absolutely. So, I mean, testosterone's a good one, especially when you're talking about ab area, where it works and targets visceral belly fat plus raise IGF-1, your growth hormone levels for people, which one, your metabolism is going to work better. Two, you're going to recover faster so you can train better and harder, I guess, to a certain extent. I mean, there's a lot of different things that testosterone will help out with. So it's a great anti-aging therapy too as well that a lot of people utilize. I mean, as we get old or older, I should say, these things are going to start declining, go deficient in some cases with people, and it's going to reflect in how you feel and how you look on the outside too. So all this goes together.
Icon is a company that preps my meals for me, and I love that it saves me time. And it's easy. It's right there. So don't need to go grocery shopping. I don't need to do anything. I just weigh out the meats. Boom. Meal's there. For me, it helps. It's cooked. So it's like you're saving so much time.
Yeah. Right.
So, Icon, thank you, brothers. Big Todd.
What testosterone level should a 30-year-old, 140-pound guy be at? So it really shouldn't matter. Like, I guess how much you weigh, okay? But being at 30 years old, your testosterone level should be pretty good. I mean, 20s to 30s, your testosterone, I mean, 18 to 30 is probably going to be your best in testosterone levels all in general. 18 to 21 will probably be your best all over. But at that point, 30s, I mean, you should be 700 at least. I mean, some people are
Rookie
800s.
numbers.
That's what I'm saying. So it really depends, but an average for a male right now at 30 is about 700, I would imagine. But there's so many different variables and so many different people. I couldn't tell you an exact number of what somebody would be at 30 years old, 140 pounds. But what I can say is that you should generally be on the higher aspect of the range. So on a total testosterone level, 700 is going to be probably pretty good. Lower being 600, higher being 800. But at that point, you should be somewhere within that range. If you're not, or if you're experiencing low testosterone levels, right, or symptoms of low testosterone, and that's i.e. brain fog, i.e. listen, your body's not responding and you're doing the right things in some circumstances, you're fatigued, you're not recovering properly, there's a lot of different things. ED could happen. So that's what usually generally people point to. Like, I don't have low testosterone because I'm still able to get an erection. Well, you can still be able to get an erection and have sexual activity with having low testosterone. Just is what it is. But you could be experiencing all these other different things, and that quality of life aspect is on the lower end too as well. So when you're having to mask your energy with drinking a whole bunch of energy drinks or not recovering properly and sore for 4 or 5 days and you didn't work out that hard, and there's a lot of different things you're going to take into play. So, that's something where I tell somebody, listen, the best thing to do is get a blood test and know, where am I at 30 years old at 140 pounds? And that aspect, you're going to start your own journey, because it truly is, it's only one person in that journey. It's you. It's your blood test. It's your body. You're going to go on that ride, just you yourself. Now, can other things help you on that ride? Yes, 100%. You can have people come and help you professionally that can help you with low testosterone or any other issue you might be having with your body. But the first thing to do would be blood tests and diagnostics. Like, that's the first thing I would tell anybody. That way you have a base of something. Now we can start moving forward. Instead of, what should I do? What area should I really focus on? You really don't know. So that's where you go.
It's one second on that. The question itself tells me the individual. He doesn't know what his testosterone level is at, or he would have put it down. And also the body weight doesn't matter. So my thought is definitely go get blood work done and then have a talk. Here's the hardship. You're not asking the right questions when you don't know things to that level. And I would listen, get your blood work done, and then listen to what they can teach you and tell you. So because of the question of, hey, I'm this age and 140, I'm the same as every other human that's walking the planet, and body weight has to do with testosterone. All right. So does that make sense to you guys? Sometimes you just don't know what the question is. And what you think is a good question isn't. So do the basics. You at least know you should get your blood work and find out what it is. And then try to listen to those guys and then learn as you go through it. I think the culture is a little different now compared to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was like, there's no dumb questions. Yeah, there are. There's a lot of dumb questions. But I kept my mouth shut and just listened and listened and listened. And I tried to learn from listening instead of asking questions, because I felt like there was dumb questions. And you're so nice, John, as you give them that, the body weight. It's like, oh, yeah, for all of you. Yeah, the body weight, your age, we've said this numerous times. I know 25-year-olds with tanked testosterone, and I know 60-year-olds with ridiculous testosterone. So
it's true.
I love this one because Francis Benfatto is one of the legends in the health and fitness world. And he's also, reminds me of Frank Zane, because they both have this aesthetic, beautiful, artistic body, and where you can look at another guy and go, that dude's body rocks, man. Holy shnikes. But on top of it, look at that. Just how would you not want that body? That's Michelangelo can't do that.
Yeah, that's
So, right? Holy cow.
yeah. Oh, sculpted.
And I think people, because of how he looks, they'll think he lifted light, you know.
Mhm.
But Frank Zane, 405 for 10 narrow stance, high bar squats, ridiculous. You
Mhm.
move that from a high bar squat in 10, that means Frank Zane could have hit almost a 600 squat at 200 pounds. So just don't look at these guys and go, oh, they lifted light. No, these guys are savages. Lee Haney, 315 behind the neck press with me back in the late 80s. It's like these guys are monsters. And Francis is one of those guys, intelligent. And I don't know what his age is now, but he looks so similar to this today. Imagine looking like that in your 60s.
That's insane. I hope so. I mean, that's the goal, right? For me.
66. He's 66 now and looks very similar to that.
Wow. It's an ongoing process, man, too, right? I mean, it's not like something he gained overnight either. You got a lot of people got to understand that. Like, there's a lot of hard work, sacrifice. I'm sure wins that physique.
They'll hear he's 66, and then you're going to get a 50-year-old going, good, I got some time.
Oh my God! Yeah, you got to develop that as you're younger. Man.
There you go. That's how it works.
That's how it works. I mean, you develop it at a younger state. You have a foundation. You keep building on that foundation, right? You make renovations as the years go on, and you keep moving. So, hey,
how are the pups?
I got both my girls in here, so they're.
Look at these two.
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Hey.
These guys are actually trained. These guys are. I got some friends that oh, my dogs are trained. No, these guys are really trained. All right, what do we got?
Remember earlier somebody asked you about connective tissue and ligaments, but John's got some
incredible peptides to help you on that.
Oh, yeah.
And here's another one like that too. So when you find that other one, pull that up too.
Yeah.
Go for it, Johnny.
How to avoid shoulder impingement. Well, one is warming up your shoulders a little bit. That would help, getting the rotation, the movement of what you're doing. Two, you can be preventative on this and taking BPC 157 and TB 500. Make sure inflammation's down. Make sure you got everything rocking and rolling like it should be. And doing a prophylactic for injury in that shoulder per se. So, I mean, these things are amazing. You can take one by themselves. You can take them dually. They work together better if you do take both of them. But if you take one by itself, let's say it's BPC 157, you're going to get a good result too as well. So it really depends on what the injury is, and really attacking whatever's going on. If it's connective tissue, if it's ligaments, joints, tendons, muscles, I mean, it's going to cover all the aspects.
Here's this one.
Oh, I love this. Okay.
How else do you go about building the connective tissue besides drinking a lot of bone or chicken broth? Well, I mean,
we just talked about.
Yeah, we're talking about, over time, really like moving those things. So, I mean, you're really like building those things as you go. It's not something that it gets built overnight. Muscle gets built faster than connective tissue is going to build. So that's where a lot of people hurt themselves as they keep going up in weight. Their connective tissue is not there. And then at that point, they have some sort of injury happen. And this puts them behind the 8 ball per se, and they have to start recovering, repairing it, and then, going back to where they were, I guess, and then trying to move farther ahead than that. But when we talk about these connective tissues, we just talked about PPC 157 and TB 500. These are going to be the ways to really help the connective tissue. So instead of just drinking a lot of bone or chicken broth, you can actually have something that's really going to help, add, a big benefit for those connective tissue and all those areas.
He knocked it out of the park again.
And it's real simple to get it. Nationwide service with Type Medical Center. All you have to do is fill out some new patient paperwork, see our medical provider. There's no blood test that's needed for peptides like that. So it's real simple and easy to do.
What's going on with the FDA right now and peptides?
Honestly, man, the FDA right now is at a standstill. I mean, there's some peptides that are still on that ban list, but I think they're not doing anything. I think a lot of those agencies aren't doing a lot of things right now because at that point it's going to change hands on the 20th of January. So, you know, I don't think there's any movement. Now, what do I think the movement's going to be?
You're alive.
I'm thinking the movement is going to be.
Hello.
The movement is going to be. Sorry, my wife is coming to me.
It's all right.
So,
The party's here.
Hey, I am the party.
I know
so-
it. I do.
So, you know, I think the movement's going to be after the 20th of January that they're going to be more for things like this. I don't think there's going to be a lot of restrictions. I think there's going to be a lot of openings, to be honest with you. So I'm keep my fingers crossed. But right now, currently, Titan Medical Center can get all these peptides for you guys. So, you know, it doesn't really matter like right now, you know, and we're just going to keep it updated because think about it. I mean, these peptides have been banned. Some have been brought back, banned again, brought back. I mean, it's ridiculous what we're going through.
Well, I'm hoping my guy Kennedy comes in and just keeps it going.
You know, I mean, I think him being, you know, if he gets the endorsement and everything like that, and everything goes through his appointment, I think there's going to be some rapid changes and things, and some big openings on different medications, and how to get a hold of some of these different medications, or even be able to utilize different medications from different countries. Other countries use other countries' medications. So, like my friends in the UK, he goes to a similar place like mine to check it out for me, does some market research, and literally they can get any medication from anywhere. So his HCG comes from Italy, and like, you know, his testosterone comes, you know, from somewhere else, and he lives in the UK. So at that point, his doctor has these medications right there, or the pharmacies have these things in stock from these different countries. So, you know, I don't think we're going to just open to anybody, but I think that there's going to be some different things, maybe like Canada and stuff like that, just to create some competition for the medicines. I mean, that's really the big thing, right? Because the cost of medication is so high. And I'm not talking about the medications we're talking about, because in the grand scheme of things, our medications are a lot more inexpensive than some of these different other medications that you may have to take. I mean, even for kidney disease, I mean, some of those medications, if you didn't have insurance, is like $300 a pill, you know? So at that point, like, I think there's going to be some great changes in place for peptides, regenerative medicine, like stem cells too. Like instead of having to go out of the country to get the, you know, the multitude of stem cell therapies that people have
They gotta allow that to America.
So I think we're gonna have a lot of different things that are at our hands and fingertips, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited because one, I'm patient zero and I want all the goodies, and I want to be able to share all these goodies with everybody else too as well.
I wish that's one thing I wish they would finally get through here is the stem cells, and let it come here instead of you have to go to South America and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I do know that there's some places that do that here in the States, but they keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I see that they're
go ahead.
I see that they're last night I was talking to the head of Cedars Sinai. He's a cardiologist. So I got to go to the Lakers game last night, and the Pistons, the owner of the Pistons. So I was with him and all his nephews and kids and stuff, and it's like the Harvard doctor, the heart surgeon, and all this. So it's great, first of all, just to see a family like that where the kids pushed and didn't just sit back knowing that they had money. So that was cool. But intelligent guys, and we were talking about hearts. And I know C-Bomb did something where he did PRP into his liver or kidney. Is that correct? Something like that.
He did it with Dr. Khan.
What's that?
They did it with Dr. Khan. They did a direct stem cell injection to the kidneys.
Okay.
I don't know if they did PRP too as well, but I remember watching that. Like honestly, like when I see people going out of the country, I was like, that would be the guy I'd go to, is Dr. Khan. I mean, he's definitely ahead of his time with his different research and some of the different things he's doing. I was impressed, and that's usually the guy who's pulling in some of those big names and putting them on video. So
I think that's great. And I know people are like, well, you know, if he is sick or not sick or whatever it is. And I think, you know, for anybody, I think that's a great thing. And that's the future of health. If stem cell, especially your own stem cells, are healthy, Why would you not want to reproduce these and get them back into your body to get a better body or heart or liver or kidneys? I think it's smart stuff. And I think that's why I keep trying to say, when it comes to Titan Medical, I wish you guys wouldn't wait till you got an impingement, an injury. Start doing some of the peptides like the BPC, the TB prior to it. We had a couple guys over training this morning, a Christmas Eve workout, you would say. And they were all talking about switching over to MK because they want to get more muscle and stronger. And I'm not talking about 50-year-old men. I'm talking about competitive grapplers and one's a UFC fighter. So it's like, they're like, I want to make sure that I'm healthy and strong and I'm at my peak and I can only get better and better. So my 2 cents there is, prior to injuries, prior to their bodies decaying, they're starting to do stuff to optimize their body. Again,
That's a move.
Yeah, it's smart. It's
like anything else. If you take care of it along the way, it lasts longer. Anything. Take care of it along the way. Your shoes.
Use your car analogy. You're giving a tune-up every 4 weeks.
You're getting a tune-up, oil change. You're getting the tires balanced and rotated. You're making sure it gets detailed on the inside and the outside. You're making sure everything is good on that car.
So think of this. You got an average Nissan or a Datsun 210, which was my first car. Thank you. It's like I'll get a tune-up or oil change, I don't know, every 6 months or until the light comes on, right? And that's how I think average people look at themselves. I'll see the doctor when I'm sick. I'll take care of it when it happens. Right. I got a piece of shit car, so why take care of it? Where the guy that's out there racing the Formula Ones and stuff like that, those guys are touching that car almost every other day. Hey, what can I do? How can I make it better? Hey, is there something going on here? Let me just check the little details that make the biggest difference. So metaphorically, I know if you guys don't like that one, I don't know how to help you any better than that. But metaphorically, don't think of yourself as a bad car. Think of yourself as a Formula One. Right. And you need to put some work into it to make it faster, stronger, better, and last longer.
Right. Mm-hmm. So true. It's so true.
You don't get to keep buying new cars. You got one body.
That's it. You got one, and that's it. One and done.
Look at me. I know nothing about cars, and I used it as a metaphor.
You're coming along, Mike. You're coming along.
Thank you. What's your opinion on?
Okay, oral or injectable for peptides? So
okay, go for that.
There's some oral peptides, I guess, that work very effective and very efficiently. One was the one Mike just talked about, was MK677. That's an oral peptide that comes in a capsule. That works very well. That's one of the only oral GHRH peptide that works. That actually raises growth hormone levels, IGF-1 levels, and actually stimulates the hunger hormone, ghrelin, so that you can eat a whole bunch and gain the mass and the strength that you want along with it. So this is really, really good one. Other oral peptides. Now, there are other peptides that you can take orally. So if somebody doesn't like needles or they have a phobia of needles, they can go with some different ones like CJC or Semirelin that we offer, or BPC. Do these work as good? Or even AOD. So these work, I would say, about 70%. They work, but they don't work as good as the injectable. That's my take on it. If you're going to do some of these different things, I would definitely do injectable on the ones, except for MK, because there's not an injectable of MK. So one I would say that would work orally because there's different situations, scenarios that you would take some of these different things. So if you had like an ulcer or IBS, then I would take BBC orally. If it was anything else, I would take BBC and injectable. Now, can you take the injectable if you had an ulcer or IBS, and would it work just as good? Absolutely. You would inject subcutaneously around the stomach area and you'd be good. But will the oral work too? Yes, because it's directly going to the site-specific area of where it needs to help heal. So that's the only one I would say. Otherwise, I would say stay away from kind of oral if you can. I know some people, and I would agree on this term, like if they're traveling and they can't, put the refrigerated bottle or they don't have a kit that they bring with them and they're not prepared like that, hey, listen, then the oral would be better than nothing. Let's put it that way. So there is a place for it, but I would say the injectable is definitely the way to go.
I put this back up because this is the young gentleman doing the my tuna diet. I love tuna.
Yep.
That's the last stage when I want to just get ridiculous. That being said, we said testosterone, but what about copper for a better skin texture? Would this be another addition to this? Because again, I'm a big believer that skin.
For sure. So when we talk about GHKCU, the collagen peptide and copper peptide, then that's one that you could definitely help with the skin, remodeling, resurfacing, and making that skin really glow again, right? The elasticity too as well. So that's where you could take GHKCU. If you're worried about the skin or you have, not so good skin, this can definitely help that. And preventative too as well. Women that are going through, let's say, menopause, right? And they're dealing with some of these different things and they haven't got treatment for hormone replacement therapy yet. This could help them out too as well. But this is something that you could take as a preventative along the way to help. So it's not just like something you would take, oh, there's a problem, an acute problem or a chronic problem. It's something that say, oh, well, I want to be more preventative about my skin. And this is something I can take for that.
I think it's great. Here we go.
What's your opinion on band-only workout routines? I guess it can be effective to a certain extent. There's only so much you can do with bands. Bands are great for like a recovery type or like therapy that my dad does right now, where he's trying to walk or he's trying to get better balance or he's trying to get better strength in his arms when he's doing this. But there's only so much you can do with bands. So I think a band routine is okay if that's the only thing that you have, but there's more things you can do in a space. Even if you had only a space that you were doing bands with, there's more that you could do in that space than just bands, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Could you give us more insight? Because anything going out for a walk, they say, is great exercise.
Right.
And so for me to say, sure, band workouts are great. You're going to go and that's going to be printed in your mind. Mike O'Hearn said band workouts are great. Well, eating healthy is great, but eating right's better. Band workouts are great, but getting to the gym and using some weights is better. So I don't know if this is all you can do. You can't get to a gym, you schedule, kids, whatever it is. At least you're doing something.
This is where body weight comes into play too. That's why I said the space. You could do jumping jacks. You could do, sit-ups. You could do push-ups. There's a lot of different things you could do in that little space if you're just doing bands. Even if you were in bed or in the same position as my dad, you could get smaller weights, 2.5 pound weights, 5.5 pound weights, and still utilize those weights for different things. Band work, like I said, I like to encompass everything. We're using bands, you're using free weights, and you're using machines too as well. Everything has a place.
Today's Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's Christmas.
Yes.
This question's great. What's Mo cooking up? And I know she's going to cook up something amazing. But what are you doing? And can you give us an insight on not just what you're doing, what you recommend for people that maybe go, hey, I want to enjoy the day, but I don't want to go crazy.
Sure. So, you can pick whatever you want. Turkey, ham, I'm going to eat probably steak, and then they're cooking a Greek dish for me, fila. So at that point, that's what we're going to eat. We're going to eat turkey, ham, steak, and a Greek dish called fila. And of course,
what about your cookies? Cookies?
Oh, for sure. Mashed potatoes.
Okay. John has these this homemade recipe cookies that are, trust me, I had one. He goes, just try one. And I had one. And by the end of the day, I was probably at 20 or 30 easily. Yeah. I was like, do you want some mashed potatoes or French fries or some kind of potato? I'm like, no, I'm doing cookies. They're so good.
Cookies. So that's what we're going to eat. Listen, my advice for people is to portion control. Eat what you like, but don't eat a ton of it, right? Especially if it's really, really bad for you. The other thing is that, listen, if you know you're going to eat something really bad, then one, you got to start. You got to at least you at least hold yourself to having one workout afterwards where you're burning off a lot of calories. Like you really got to go hard. Use those calories to benefit you instead of being a negative effect, because at that point you can utilize the calories if you want to. You don't have to just sit on those calories. So that's the biggest thing, eat, but don't overeat, because people like to overeat. They like to just extend themselves. Don't do that. And like I said, utilize the calories. Use it as a benefit, not a negative.
I'll just pull them up.
Yeah, try to pull that up. I thought that was a pretty good one. All right.
And if you overeat during Christmas and you've overeaten during these holidays, we do have weight loss programs that can help you get those pounds off and start getting ready for a new year, because 2025 is coming very fast. Don't wait to that first of the year, new me. Start now. Be like, listen, I know what I got to do, and I'm going to start now doing it. Okay. What are some tips you guys have to increase your percentage on barbell bench, and what should the weekly, monthly approach be? Currently at 260 for 3 times.
Nice. Yeah, I've just used the basic percentage from powerlifting. Yeah, do a 12-week plan, get in there and rock and roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a firefighter gym rat. You do weekly massages? If you can. I think massage is good.
Yeah. First off, thank you. First responders, firemen, all that kind of stuff. Much love. And it's cool that you guys get to work out and get paid to work out. That's badass. You guys need to be taking care of yourselves, be safe, be strong. Congrats. But yeah, recovery massage. I'm lucky though. I got the guy.
You got the guy.
I got the guy. So
Yeah.
Johnny, if you guys come out for the red carpet for Magazine
Yes.
Dreams, we have to have Jimmy work on your shoulders.
I'm down.
Yeah, we got to set that up, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, do you get worked on every week or every couple weeks?
Yeah, definitely about every other week for sure. I try to get it every week. It's just sometimes I'm just too tired mentally. I'm like, she usually goes first, and by the time she comes out, I'm usually passed out. I'm like, I don't want it now. So I try to get it every other week for sure. On days I am hurting, if I am hurting real bad on my shoulders and stuff like that, then I'll definitely ask for a massage on those days. But yeah, I think it's good to incorporate. Obviously, if you can do it every week, that's awesome. I would do it every other week or at least every month, like once a month, because people like financial, all that. That's fine. Budget in for 1 month. Treat yourself, because like I said, your body deserves it. You deserve it, especially if you're working hard.
Here's a nice little cardiovascular for you.
Stairs, high HR steps, side lunges or side lunge stairs. You do. I don't do any of these. Not at all.
I've seen you dance. You basically do a combination of all this when you dance.
Can I do stairs? I can probably do stairs. I just don't do any of these anymore.
You do the roll by, you go into the break.
I can move like that. I can do some side steps there. Maybe some side lunges there. But for me in the gym, I really don't do those things. But I think everything has a place.
Yeah. Yeah. Your heart rate will be, a correlation of your age, how well your athletic, your heart rate functions. I know that people that have great cardiovascular, it's harder to get their heart rates up. Yeah, just get into a fat burning zone. My recommendation. This one's good. I think, Jeffrey, you clarified this may mean peptides for 70-year-olds.
Right.
Hey, listen, what's your take on peptides for people in their 70s? I think peptides are awesome for everybody. There's so many great peptides out there that benefit people in so many different ways. There's hardly any, if none, side effects as far as that goes. Like negatively, you're talking about very, very minimal things. So I think that everybody should take advantage of wanting to use peptides. Peptides should be there for everybody. There's a place. Whether it's healing peptides, I mean, think I'm going to, if you're 70 years old, how many bumps and bruises or chronic or acute injuries you may have. Some people may have none. There's a lot of people that have a lot. So, I think just that alone in that aspect is a game changer.
And you're 70, you're in it. Let's fight. Let's have that attitude. Let's fight. Let's get another, hopefully 20 years of you being a superstar.
Yep. This is a good one. Trying to get appetite back. So need advice for overall to getting it back. We talked about this earlier. There is one that just hits this mark every time, and that's MK677. It's an oral GHRH peptide, and this will stimulate your ghrelin, your hunger hormone, and will definitely get your appetite back for sure. And at that point, raise your IGF-1 levels and give you a whole bunch of other different benefits too as well. So if you're looking to get the appetite back, if you're looking to increase your calories, if you're really looking to make a change in the body and that aspect as far as strength and mass, as far as that goes, lean body mass, then MK is going to be the one for you guys for sure. How do I deal with trauma of the gym being closed on Christmas Day? Do you work out at your house? Or you take a rest day and recover really, really good?
I like that. And just guys, everybody out there, thank you for the holiday wishes. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Titan Medical, myself,
absolutely.
the whole team's here. I appreciate it. And yes, get some more rest. As we get older, we got to be smarter about the gym and really listen to the body. We're not 20 no more, but it doesn't mean we can't be intelligent about it to a level to where we recover like we're 20. Is that right?
Well, no, that reminds me. There was a question that said something just like that.
Right there.
There it is. That's the one.
Mike, men feel again like 20 years old ever again. So yeah, this is when we talk about doing the blood work and then looking at those hormones and then turning back the clock on the inside. That's what I like to say, because at that point we're going to turn your hormones back to when you were about 21 in your 20s per se. So at that point you'll start getting that great revitalization of yourself, the confidence back, the feeling of energy. That strut, that's what I like to call it. You get that strut back. And at that point, you start feeling a lot younger for sure and being able to do a lot more than what you used to.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I got gladiators when I was in my 40s. And it was one of those things that it was like everything I did up to that point kept me in the position to fight for it and beat those 20-year-olds. So we can all do this. It just, what are you willing to give up so you can keep your health and fitness going? And then are you willing just to do the most basic, simple thing, like just Titan Medical's phone numbers right there to call them up to find out where you're at right now? And you'd want to find out where you're at now so you can either optimize it and get better, or if everything's great, they'll tell you that. They'll say, hey, that's the cool thing I like about Titan Medical. They'll say, you're good. Go away. Come back in 3 months. Come back in 6 months. Where these other companies, be careful, because these other companies, no matter how good you are or how young you are, they will upsell you up a storm. And you guys have already heard these stories about other companies. They'll upsell and, scary. So that's the one cool thing about Titan Medical. If you're fine, you're fine.
That's right.
If you're not, at least they can help you. So, I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Hello.
Nice. What makes a good fat burner? Well, thermogenesis, something that's going to help you burn fat, right? Our combination is probably one of the best. And it's been used for a long time. And that's ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin. Those
Old
three
school.
combinations, it's very, very old school. We put a new twist on it with adding B12 and chromium to help boost metabolism and help with the weight loss result. So ephedrine in itself is a great thermogenesis tool. Like it stimulates fat burning effect, right, on that brown adipose tissue too as well. So when we talk about that, that's one of the best ones out there. And the combination has been used, like I said, forever. So if you're looking for a good fat burner, our ECA Stack Plus, which has real ephedrine, HCl, caffeine, aspirin, B12, and chromium, then that's really what you want to get for sure. I know a lot of people try to make their own combinations from like cold medications and stuff like that, but I'm telling you guys, it's not like the real deal. Formulated for exactly what it's supposed to do for you guys.
Johnny, we're looking for one more beautiful question for you
Sure.
before we enjoy the Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Here's something before we get to the good one.
Thoughts on AG1? I don't know what AG1 is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't either. Jeff, anything?
I'll look it up though. I'll find out.
See what you got. We find another one.
It's a green drink.
It's a green drink, Jeff says.
Oh, okay. I have to look into it, but I mean, any greens are going to be good, guys. I would imagine. You guys are having some greens, and there's nothing bad. I don't know. Listen, they put that on the outside of the package. I really don't know what the ingredients are. I look at the ingredients and everything that goes into it, and start making your basis off there. If it's green things like kale and all that good stuff, then that's not going to be bad for you. That's going to be good for you. But I have to look at it just to see what it is.
Hey, here's a good one for you, Johnny. How about that?
Mike, why do you look heavier? I mean, he's probably
Because I'm heavier?
Because he's eating. I mean, you probably see us in so many different stances where he might be thinner in the face, might have a little bit more weight in the face, but that's all what he's doing too, right? He's manipulating his body for certain circumstances, like parts and everything like that. So you might see Mike super, super lean, and you might see Mike super, super swole. It just is what it is, and where he's at in his stages, I guess.
And you're only going to see Mike get monstrously huge over the next 2 months. I'm going to be 310 pounds moving homes for my year. So just pay attention, stay with me. Power bodybuilding, you guys know what's going down.
Oh man, that's a monster 310.
You're gonna see weights and you're gonna go, that's not realistic. Yeah.
No fake weights here for sure.
I love off season.
Mr. DC Comics. After coming home from work, I want to work out, but my energy level is low. What foods do you recommend to recharge the body for more energy? So, there might be some foods that you might be able to eat that might give you a little bit of kick, but I don't really think that like eating food at that point is really going to recharge you that much where it's going to remotivate you to go to the gym. You got to have to want to go to the gym. And at that point, I don't know how old you are, but if you're that tired, is there something off hormone wise? Because this is a right direct thing that a lot of people go through. They get up, they go through their day, they get home, and they're ready to pass out. They're so tired when they get home that they don't really want to talk to the wife. They don't want to play with the kids. They sit on their favorite chair, they turn on the TV, and then they're out. So at that point, this is like a low testosterone play too in some instances. I'm not saying you do, but this is something that regularly happens. So at that point, even if you really want to cover this up and say, hey, listen, it's not a hormone thing. I'm just really tired. So you can utilize an ECA like in the middle of your day. And at that point, go to the gym, work out, and then come home and eat a great, nutritional, dinner. And at that point, you can eat during the day too as well. I don't know if that might be the problem, that you're not eating the correct foods to give you the right energy. So that might be something you might want to work on too as well. But these are things I would definitely check my blood work, make sure everything's good there, because even if you're working a long day, 8 or 9 hours, and I work a lot longer than that, I can go work out afterwards, right? And I can take an ECA in the morning, but I never take another one at night. That's just me. If I really need to pull through, though, I would take one in the afternoon and go. But at that point, that hardly ever happens. And I work out in the mornings too. So that might be another thing you might want to do, is change when your workout schedule is, because I never liked the mornings, and Mike always worked out in the mornings. So you know what? With Peter having to go to school and train in the mornings really early, I'm like, I might as well just turn this negative into a positive and say, listen, I'm going to get up and just go train, get it out of the way. And honestly, it's been a game changer for me too as well.
Yeah, I've never heard somebody. Foods don't make you energetic. It makes you feel good, healthy.
Right.
You're eating consistently, so you should be more level. You won't have highs and lows as much. But you're looking for something from Titan Medical at this point to really kick you in the butt and get you going and stuff. So that's my recommendation.
Definitely.
I like
Yeah.
that you're looking for food, but yeah, the food's not going to. You're not going to have a 8 ounces of chicken and go, all right, I'm jacked now. It's
Right.
half a cup of rice. Oh, with the hot sauce.
Yeah. My energy is recharged. Woo! It's like a video game, right? You get one of those little stars or one of those power ups. You're like, oh, I'm ready to go now. Like it just doesn't happen like that. It just does not happen. You have to use some sort of stimulant to get yourself back up, or something of that effect. I mean, if you're that tired. Do you ever use a belt or straps or always raw dog? Well, I always raw dog, but I guess I can use a belt or strap if I needed to.
What's up, Jeff?
Sharice, she likes it when I use the belts and straps, and she only received raw dogs.
Woo! Merry Christmas. Yeah, we raw dog over here. Go check out what Jeff's name is on social media.
Always raw dog.
We'll leave it at that note, man.
Hey, you guys, I'm sorry I was late today. I apologize.
Hey, do we got a peptide before you go? The special of the week or anything?
Special week is blood testing this week. We're doing that GLP-1s all the way to the end of the year. We didn't incorporate really another therapy of the week because this week I gave my staff Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off, which we usually work. We work Monday till like 1 o'clock. And then Tuesday, today I let them off for Christmas Eve and then Christmas tomorrow. So we'll be back in the office Thursday. But blood testing is a special. That's one GLP-1s. So at that point, you can save yourself some money, losing weight, or checking what's going on the inside, see if you guys need to be optimized. But that's it, guys.
All right, guys. This is the phone number right down there, 727-389-3220, or email. Head on over to Titan.com. There we go. These guys will help you out, optimize you, get you jacked, and raw dog you. I mean, they won't raw dog you. Me over here will.
Go raw dog other people.
See you, Johnny.
See you. Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
What you got to say, Jeffrey?
Fucking raw dog or no dog, baby.
That's how we do what we do.
That's it.
It's raw dogging over here. Hey, thanks for hanging, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody going to the Christmas. Have a blast. I'm just looking over this last minute kind of details here. You guys got a lot of great stuff here. Yeah, we got some great stuff. Again, just be consistent. Start your plan. I see a lot of guys talking about their age over here. Start now. You'll be better in a year. That's the ultimate goal. I'm on Power Bodybuilding. Jeffrey's on Power Bodybuilding. We're getting strong. So right now is strong and big. Look at my shoulders. Look at this. You can't. Why is it? What's going on there? Why can't get my shoulders in there? Look at that. Yoo-hoo! So we are crushing it, getting strong as can be. And it's fun too. It really is fun when the weight when the body adapts, starts feeding your muscles to get stronger. It's a cool thing. All right, go, play, enjoy.